do that. But the game's going to start, guys. We have the countdown already begun. So let's switch over to the game. There we go. cha1n versus cha1n. This is the first map of this best of 3. This is a quarterfinal game. And Ruffin cha1n to begin with, as he just gets the rocket straight up. Mega as well.
This is a very good spawn for cha1n because he's not going to get... Not only going to get Mega and the 2 yellows, but he's also got all the weapons. So let's see if he rocket jumps up into center map and tries to block off cha1n, which is what I would do. And looks like we can have a repetition of what Ray did against Styru, except cha1n doesn't really fall for it. Well, I think more like cha1n wasn't patient enough. And actually, this is a great attack from cha1n. It's just his aim kind of let him down a little bit at the end. Let's see how much HP he had left. Yeah, he must have been on 17 HP. But if he had a little bit better LG aim, it would have been a frag. It was actually a great move. Caught cha1n jumping over from the yellow. It was a pretty nice trap. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off. It's not so bad for him because he still has 75 armor. He knows when the yellow spawns. So he has at least some information. And like DM13 is a map where I would say some weaker player has the highest chance of beating a better player. Just because in the end it comes down to a very small amount of fights. So you have to get lucky significantly less often, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe this plasma that you just dealt, and this will, if he gets a frag now, this might be enough for him to secure the win if he just press backs properly afterwards. Unfortunately, I think wow, this was a lot of damage. He might actually go back in for that fight. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Just some funky plasma, some nice LG, and this might well doom cha1n pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to have this situation last for a while as well, which, I mean, the thing is that cha1n, he's got to stay alive, and this is one of the hardest things to do as well. Playing out of control is all about predicting and reading your opponent, because cha1n is going to have some spots where he's just going to guess. He's going to have that time where he can be like, okay, I don't have to, I can spend 10 seconds hunting you or so. I'm not going to put myself at risk positionally from losing items, so I can kind of go for it. Doesn't want to commit too far, but sometimes if he's guessing right, you're really screwed. But cha1n, you can see there, he had a moment where he went to the choke point, and then he was like, okay, that was it. Now it's time to get items again. And he's actually going to catch cha1n. That's a great prediction there. Oh, but on the bounce pad, this is huge for cha1n. That's a lot of damage. He gets a good spawn. This could be pretty nice for him, but unfortunately, he spawns the grenade. And he's going to die again off this. This is terrible.
This was actually really dangerous from cha1n. Such close combat fights against grenades are actually really risky. cha1n, actually, like before the game, I was thinking he would have an aim advantage. It just felt like that from the last game we saw cha1n partake in. He seemed to really be spot on with rails at least, because this map doesn't have rails. And his LG is actually surprisingly weak. Like, my impression was that he's sort of an aim whore, but in this game it's quite opposite. He's playing quite smart. He's been able to avoid cha1n for a long time. He's been able to trap him, but his aim is letting him down. This is quite unexpected for me at least. And great rocket. cha1n's in trouble. cha1n is having to fall back. This should mean that cha1n can secure the red if he chooses to go for it, and also the mega. So not bad at all.
Yeah, this is definitely a good situation for cha1n. He needs to make sure that this stabilizes, because at the moment, cha1n, you can see he's a little bit bold. He's kind of thinking to himself, I can move out on the map. I can be a little bit more risky right now because I know my opponent isn't stacked to the teeth. But right now, cha1n did manage to just reach that point. And so cha1n right now is going to try to make his way onto center map. cha1n's actually at the red, so cha1n can do that. And now cha1n has a bearing on his position. He can make his way back to that yellow armor, and cha1n is in a really good spot, because even though cha1n is 200-200, cha1n had all the options. But I don't like actually how cha1n's kind of moved, because now he's kind of stuck this side of the map. He needs to get over to Mega, and he's going to die.
This is it. Nice.
So that's got to be the mistake. cha1n could have locked his opponent away, fallen back onto Mega, but he went for the yellow instead and died.
Yeah,
because of it.
You're completely right. That was a big mistake, and he paid for it. Actually, he really didn't need to die in that situation. He just messed up really badly with his mouse control. He couldn't keep track of cha1n at all. It's like I think he might have not even seen him at any point during that fight, because he first got bounced over his head, and then he just was watching the wrong direction. So actually, I'm not sure this would have been a frag play for cha1n usually. But in any case, you're right. You should never go for that yellow at LG without a big necessity for doing it. Because of course you're putting yourself at danger of getting trapped in that upper hallway. So it would have been right to at least wait, see what cha1n is going to do, and then go for the yellow.
And Chance is definitely ambush it. There it is. That is the ambush. It wasn't too consequential, but it does lead very well into the follow-up, where he gets the kill before cha1n's, because he did enough damage that he could get the kill there before cha1n would be able to disappear around the corner, which would have been kind of annoying because he would have gotten away. And Chance is in a situation where getting that kill now means that he can be comfortable taking red and then mega. And this is quite huge because that is a stable position stack-wise, and that is going to lead to even more frags potentially. However, Chance could just decide to sit on this lead and play the war of attrition, to play defensively, just keep controlling the movement of his opponent, and there he's going to drop down. This is a bit of a read coming in from Chance, but he's taking way too much damage. He might even fall. Chance, that was an inefficient engagement. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, he's lucky he survived, but...
How much was the frag worth, really, there? I mean, was it worth losing the entire stack?
The thing is that he's going to look at the red straight away. And unfortunately the 50 wasn't up, but if the 50 was up, he wouldn't have almost lost anything, would have found the 100 stack. And it looks like it was worth it, by the way, so he's just made 3 frags on the back of that. Probably cha1n, I felt like he deserved that frag, so not right now he's figured, hey, let me just get what I deserve, and that's not how Quake works, unfortunately. When you sometimes it can be really frustrating when you lose a fight that was really close, and you feel, you know your opponent is low, and if you just got a better spawn, you would frag him, and you kind of feel like you have to frag him now, and you just start rushing. When what you should do is just take a step back, start from the 0 again, take the yellows, wait, be patient, and people don't really like doing that. And like, what can happen is that you just start doing like frag after frag. It's because you lack that sort of self-control.
The cha1n gonna make his way back through to the lightning gun, and this is going to be tough because cha1n's got Chance right on his heels, and Chance going straight in for the kill. A lot of good damage coming out from cha1n though. I mean, this can be one of the things that perhaps you could say Chance needs to work on. Maybe some of the fights he takes, he receives too much damage. The execution could be big enough, or perhaps some of the fights he takes are a little bit too inefficient, so he takes too much more damage than he needs to, which really has implications on the next fight and the next fight, and control. So he's going to fight cha1n again. He's pretty low though, but it's okay because Mega's up for him, and there's no way cha1n can steal away this red, so Chance should really be in good stead to ever increase his lead. And there you go, another kill coming out from Chance, but the question is, how much damage does he take? Not too much.
And this is arrived at the point where it doesn't matter at all. The game is over. Chance is gonna take the first map. I'm kind of surprised by how different cha1n plays compared to the first game, or maybe the first map. Maybe it's a matter of just a different map that is played. But on ZTN, he seemed really aggressive. He liked to rocket jump around, stylish, and pretty much just one based on his aim against Cloud. This game he took a lot, he had a lot more respect for his opponent. He played a lot slower, I should say, but it almost worked. I feel like he wasn't that far away. Considering it's cha1n against Chance, he actually did really well. And, you know, if things went a little bit differently, who knows?
Yeah, but as you said, it is pretty much over now. It's a minute and 20 seconds left. No allusions to the reality of this scenario. And the reality is, Chance be winning, yo. And that's going to be lost world that goes to him. And we'll move on to the next map, as it is a quarterfinal game. And that means that Chance most likely is going to go up against Ray. Well, he will go up against Ray because Ray already won. We saw that.
No, we don't know Chance.
He will go up against Ray though.
Yeah, that's correct.
If he does win. So, and then Rafa Sparks on the upper semi-final. So that's what you have to look forward to. If you are a Rafa fan, he is definitely doing pretty well. And there you go, more pummel. At least the Americans are listening to you. And Chance is definitely feeling pretty good about his game at the moment. It's always nice when you play someone that you know, you have a big advantage against skill-wise. You can really get into a game. You can make some mistakes, but not really feel too too punished, so it doesn't feel as bad. You can kind of just be a bit more carefree, really get warm. And Chance is going to have that going into his harder matches.
It depends. I think a lot of people are very different in that regard. You know, some are helped by playing a lot of warm-up games and they kind of get into it slowly but steadily. Then again, others will just get exhausted. They'll get tired and you know, they play somebody, especially when they play people who are bad. Like they just lose focus. They can't really force themselves to play seriously. And even if they win the games later, they kind of feel more and more distress and just don't play as good as if they play good players all the time.
So what is it for you?
For me, I guess it's a mix of both. I do need some warm-up. Like I start playing my best after like, I don't know, 5 games or so, 5 maps. But then, of course, if I then play for 2 or 3 or 4 hours, it starts getting worse progressively.
Yeah, definitely there's a point where stuff starts to get bad, where you start to get tired and stuff starts to get sloppy. I actually don't like, when it came to practice and stuff, I didn't like playing too many games because I feel like if I can't actively like make or think about all the decisions I'm making, and if I start getting sloppy, it feels like the practice is worth a lot less because you're not, like in a tournament match, like your job is to make sure you're playing at 100%. So you got to understand how you play when you're at 100%. If you're just making sloppy decisions, it gets so inconsistent. So I don't really like that. So I think like, oh, okay, never mind. Before I talk about practicing and my thoughts, Chance versus cha1n, we're getting back into the game. It's going to be toxicity now, and this will be where cha1n is able to try and come back into this series. But will Chance let him? Chance is pretty sick here, I've got to say.
That was a great start from Chance. He's been able to get both yellows and mega and damage and the direct rocket to his face. So it's actually quite even. cha1n will have to get this LG. He already has a rail, so that's his big advantage, and cha1n has to use it. He has to try to stay. This position is great. I would have wanted him to have a rail in that situation and just kind of try to punish Chance from a distance. But this is cool, this is good. See if he's able to dodge Chance. I think it's decent. Let's go to cha1n and see what he's doing. He's got a good stack, and he still has the rail advantage, which is unfortunately not helping him. It's just Chance had more experience. It just came down to that. Chance knew exactly where cha1n was going to come from, which is the teleporter, and cha1n just elect the wits to select a more distinct path. Could have, for example, tried to just go over the box from the other side, which would just be... It would take longer, and you might actually come later than the mega, but that's just something you have to accept. Like when you're too late, you need to realize you're too late, and not try to push it at any cost. And instead you need to try, when you realize you're too late, it just means you're doing exit damage instead of actually getting the item, which is often actually more efficient and more effective.
It is, and Chance is trying to do some I'm gonna do damage until you die kind of damage, as he does manage to get that kill onto cha1n.
Kind of damage.
It is the best kind of damage for certain. And right there, he does miss that rail, but he's still trying to apply the damage, but he's not finding it just yet. But still, this position is quite good. It's unfortunate he didn't get anything out of it, but he'll have more opportunities to do so. However, the repercussions could be annoying, because now cha1n's in a good place to deal damage. And this is kind of what I meant, is him missing those shots allowed cha1n to shoot those 2 or 3 rockets that took 150 armor and health away from Chance. If he has that health right here, then he's super stacked. I mean, the things that he can do expands widely, and he can do it with a lot of confidence and without any fear. But it's these missed rails that really hurt Chance, and he's missing even more there, and you can see the position he's getting into.
It's really not getting much, but he's still just such a nice change of positions. He got a little bit greedy, but it was actually really beautiful how he got closer to the mega than cha1n, just leading this little cheeky jump on the box. cha1n has been able to get a frag, unfortunately hasn't been able to get the mega, so he's roughly even with Chance. This is not a fight he wants to take. Yeah. Unfortunately, cha1n, like, I think he would actually have a decent chance if he was just able to LG much better than he is right now, because his LG is really subpar right now, it's below average. If he had like slightly above average LG, he would be punishing cha1n in so many situations where you just notice he's dealing like 20 or 30 damage. Instead, if he had decent LG, he would be dealing 100, 150 damage.
Yeah. It's a lot of difference, it really is.
And
all
perhaps
the little things.
Perhaps he's kind of building. Like, I notice a lot of those situations, and it feels like perhaps he should be trying to create different situations for himself rather than those where he can deal LG damage. Because he does kind of create good situations to deal LG damage on Memphis. But when you don't have that good LG, those are not the situations you want to kind of create for yourself. So much rather I would like to see him here spamming rockets or rails when Chance is taking red, for example. That would be a position that suits his aim strengths much better.
So Chance does get another one with the rocket. It's looking depressing for cha1n right now. He's going to go down once more. So despite any missed rails from Chance, and it does not really going to amount to much, because it's about the ability of your opponent to capitalize, to exploit your weaknesses and the flaws in your game. And cha1n has been unable to do that so far. So yeah, and of course Chance winning loss. Well, this means it's the end of the road for cha1n, and Chance is going to be able to face off against his opponent in the semi-finals, which will be Ray. So there you go, and Chance and cha1n, their story is over, and Chance will move onwards towards that journey to hit that grand final against who he should presume should be Rafa, but you never know. Sometimes crazy stuff happens. Maybe Rafa's going to have to run away for some reason.
He's going to play Sparks, and Sparks,
yeah,
so I've heard, has been playing very close.
That's very
against
true.
Rafa the last time.
So we're just waiting for the server for Rafa versus Sparks, which will be the next match we'll follow. So we'll go to a very short break, guys. Remember to get some popcorn, whatever you need, because Rafa Sparks should be a nice match to watch. And also remember to tell your friends and loved ones that they should be tuning in to watch the Quake live action here for the North American Cup. So see you soon.